All right, so before we begin looking at some of these stretches, it's very important that you know that these stretches aren't meant to help you cure or heal your low back pain. These are really meant for our patients who are undergoing restorative chiropractic care in our office and are looking to stabilize those corrections that we're currently making and to ensure that they get better quicker and heal faster. Now, if this isn't your first time dealing with low back pain, I highly recommend that you get checked by a chiropractor. Oftentimes, the muscles, especially the ones that we're talking about today, really only act or react because of what's going on with underlying structure. So I highly recommend that you get checked by your chiropractor to address the true source of your problem. And that's why we're finding such dramatic results with our patients here in the office, because we're addressing the true source, which is the structural problem underneath the muscles, which is the spine. So let's get rolling, and I hope you enjoy these stretches. So the first stretch we're going to do is the total back stretch. This is a great stretch to loosen up everything before we get going to some of the deeper stretches. So you can find a chair, a wall, something to stabilize your hands above your body. And what you're going to do is you're going to let the hips flow backwards and let the chest drop to the floor. Now we don't want to let it sag, so keys to make the core stay engaged and keep those elbows locked. Now the key with this stretch is you don't want to push your head forward. You want to let your chest fall towards the floor while keeping your stomach nice and tight and letting the hips pull back do all the work. And you're going to hold this stretch for about 30 seconds, and you can do this a couple times. All right, so the next one's the cobra, and the cobra is a little tricky, so I always recommend starting slow, using your elbows to plank you up first, and just see how that feels. If that's enough of a stretch, you can sit there and hold that for about 30 seconds to a minute. But if you're looking for a deeper stretch, you can use your hands to really kind of propel you up as far as you feel comfortable going. Don't go too far. If you start to feel your back tighten up, that's when you know to stop. But 30 seconds is always a good rule. You can even place your hands further out in front of you if that feels more comfortable. So the next stretch is going to be the supine twist. What you're going to do is you're going to keep your shoulders flat on the ground. Start by bringing the knee up first and bringing that over to the opposite side and see how that feels. If that's not enough of a stretch, feel free to kick the leg out and give that a deeper stretch into the low back. But always you can just keep the knee over, and if that's more comfortable for you, feel free to start with that. And big thing with this one is you really want to make sure the shoulders stay on the ground. You don't want to let the shoulders pop up because that will reduce the stretch. The next one's going to be the hip flexor stretch. So this one pretty simple. You're going to get into a lunge position, and key with this one is really to keep the core tight. You should feel your stomach muscles flexing. So you can see, always check, make sure you're really stretching into the hip. And if you need to feel a deeper stretch, move both shoulders back while keeping the core tight, or else you're going to feel a little bit of a strain in the low back. So key is to keep the core engaged and tight. And this will move us into our next stretch, which would be the quad stretch. Quads play a big role in low back issues, so this one you're just going to pick your leg up. You can use the same side, or you can use the opposite side if that's a little too difficult to go on the same side, and just pull that knee into the small of your back, keeping everything tight and engaged during this stretch. So the next stretch is going to be the PIRIFORMIS stretch. Plenty of different ways to do this, but for beginners we're going to start nice and easy and slow. You're going to bring your foot over your opposite knee and really just lean forward, using your body, not trying to dip or arch your back to get the stretch. So using your body, if you need to accentuate the stretch, you're going to place a bit of pressure on the knee and lean forward again, accentuating that pressure. But if you ever feel the pressure on the knee itself, then pull back. We don't want to injure the knee while we're doing this.